Hello there! Now is the time that we have all been waiting for to get started on talking about things that nobody else wants to talk about, which is a thing that I do to myself on a daily basis, so you're just coming to the opening season. What I first want to do is start off with like an opening parameters of what the conversation is going to look like. So if you haven't looked at the title of this video, I will be covering things that I want changed in fandom culture, as well as content that, fandoms formulate around. Sorry, I'm catching my breath because I was dancing earlier. This is going to be kind of more of a series than a one-shot video like I usually do. So I'll have a variety of topics. Some will include the hypersexualization of characters in fictional media. Another would be gatekeeping in fandoms, which was a topic that was recommended by a couple of people that I asked for input on, so that will be another thing that I will cover, as well as fan obsession of trying to make things canon, cancel culture, fan service, and also gore and the pleasantries that go along with these types of topics. And those are the things that are some of the things really that I will cover inside of this series. But let's start off with our opening episode, which is going to be, again, the parameters for the conversation that I'm wanting to be able to hold with the people who are going to be watching this video, or this series of videos. Number one, it is important to hold creators accountable, or at least have the conversation around their actions when they are creating their content. Because, as I've said this many times with my family, as we watch like tons of movies together, the idea that a lot of work was put into the content that we consume and surround ourselves with. It's a process. There are things that are pre-approved. Now, of course, there are times when the creators will make mistakes. They either own up to their mistakes or they completely push them down. It's just another thing that I want people to keep in mind when watching this series. The other thing is holding ourselves accountable to the consumption of these medias, as the viewers or readers or even writers or whatever it is, being a part of a fandom and holding ourselves accountable to the actions and thoughts that we decide to have surrounding these things. Where was I? Yes, holding yourself accountable as a consumer of content. Why do I like these types of things? Is this the only way for this subject matter to be presented, or is there a better way? Is there something that can be fixed or altered or added that I would like to bring up to the creator? Of course, not harass them, which is another topic that I'll be covering. So things like that, and then also baseline of what I want people to understand is that you can be critical, you can be knowledgeable about a fandom or content from a fandom and still enjoy it, but be able to take a step back and realize that it was created by flawed people. It's still something to be able to critique things, which is one of the main things that I think about loving something, or maybe even someone, is being able to critique them and give input. Some additional things that I want to address, like maybe throughout the series, but I'll bring it up now just so that you guys are aware of it, is the idea that just because content is fictional, or scenarios that show up inside of the content that you're consuming are in fact fictional, or inspired by a real thing or something, that you should still be able to see the problems if that scenario was applied in real life and realize that it is in fact just fiction. And also the idea, or reeling back the idea, that things, if they are portrayed a certain way, aren't inherently bad or aren't inherently good. In particular, I suppose I could bring up the idea of, let's say, dancing or clothes or something like that. That typically most people are like, well, people can do whatever they want because it's not hurting anybody, so I mean, hey, go for it. But the idea that the content that they are making isn't inherently, let's say, sexual or terrible or something like that. But again, willing to take the step back and going into the history behind said thing and realize, like, oh, there's actually more to this than just they're doing it, you know? So again, taking an analysis and looking at things. Now, of course, not everybody's going to take things like this seriously because they're like, well, it's just fiction, so what does it matter? It does matter in the sense that people are creating it for an audience, and that audience is consuming the content. So if at any point in time there is a demand for something, you always have to take a look at it and see exactly what is going on. But if you see here, we have our candles for candle chats. It was hidden by my hair a majority of the time. I'm sorry about that. But again, here we are. I sound a whole lot more enthusiastic today than I usually do, and that's because this is a topic that really gets me riled up. I mean, I'm usually having these conversations with myself, so I wanted to be able to have people to dialogue it with other than myself and my family. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'm out of breath. I should probably have taken a break before I started talking. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm wearing a corset. The corset is not the reason. Yes.
We're gonna watch Soul. Do you want to watch it?
Yes. That was an IM. She came in to tell us that we were supposed to watch the movie Soul, which will be another thing that I can talk about later because I believe that it has some interesting topics, to say the least.